Hello everyone, let's talk about medical decisions today. Let's talk about what happens when you become unable to make them. Why would you become unable to make medical decisions? Let's say you are in a car or maybe a work accident, or maybe you have a long-term illness, or you may develop a mental condition such as Alzheimer's, for example. What happens then? Who gets to, one, communicate with the physicians? Who gets to make medical decisions? Who gets to decide if they are to continue treatment or maybe choose another route? So let's talk about it because it is very important, and I urge you to think about it now, talk to your family members, and ideally put something in writing. I've had several calls recently from people in complete distress because a loved one was in the hospital and they were unable to communicate with the doctors and make decisions. It happens sometimes that the person who has priority by law is not necessarily the best person to make decisions for a loved one. Maybe because they don't fully understand legal terms or medical terms or course of action. Maybe because they don't know the patient's choices in medical decisions, or maybe because they have other interests in mind, such as an inheritance, or they don't want to spend money, and so on. So it is important that you have something in writing, such as a medical power of attorney, appointing someone, the right person to be there and make decisions for you. Have a medical power of attorney in place that says, if I become unable to make decisions, I appoint this person to make them for me. If this person is unable to make them, then I appoint this other person. If you don't have that legal document on hand, if your family member won't have that document, it can get very messy, especially when family members, let's say we're talking about grandma and she has 4 kids and then maybe 3 grandkids, when not everyone is on the same page. And let's say grandma is at her 2nd marriage, so there is also a stepdad, if you will, and the husband does not agree with the kid's choice or with the kid's plan for grandma's care. It can get very messy. People may end up in court, or relationships may be destroyed. So ideally, have something in writing. If you trust your spouse, for example, or one of the kids, that they would follow your wishes, please nominate them in your power of attorney. Otherwise, they would end up in court, likely in an adult guardianship proceeding. So basically, someone will have to go in front of a judge and say, hey judge, grandma is unable to make decision. Here is medical records. Appoint one of us to do that for her. That's expensive. That's the last thing someone would want to do in that crisis. They would want to be there in the hospital, caring for you, being there for you and your family, not going in front of a judge, not trying to hire an attorney and go in front of a judge, and even worse, fighting with their siblings or maybe with the spouse over who gets to be appointed and make those decisions for you. We can help you with 3 legal medical documents. The power of attorney that we talked so much about, the medical one, and a financial, but that's a different topic. A HIPAA release that would allow family members to communicate with doctors to ask about your welfare, but not necessarily to make medical decisions for you. And of course, an advance directive, very important, end-of-life care. Who gets to make the decisions and what are your choices? It's there in writing, and you initial your option. It is worth mentioning that some, if not all, of these documents, you may be able to find them online. Some of the big hospital networks have some or at least one of these documents, such as the advance directive, or as you go through to a physician or you're about to go through a procedure, ask the doctors if they have some limited forms that you can sign and at least protect yourself temporarily until you're ready to sit down with an attorney and get a comprehensive estate plan to make sure that your wishes will be followed, not just medical, but also asset distributions and so on. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for any future educational videos. Send me an email if you have any ideas on next topics. and maybe join us for one of our in-person educational events we hold every month, twice a month, once in the morning, once in the evening. Thank you for watching and see you soon.